In this question, we're asked to express a number in scientific notation and then convert a number from scientific notation back into a decimal number. So in this case, we need to go over the rules for writing a number in scientific notation. Scientific notation basically has three parts. It has a number on the outside times 10 to some power. We call the number on the outside the coefficient. And it must be between 1 to 10, but it can't actually be 10, so it has to be between 1 and 9.9 repeating. So it has to be just a little bit less than 10. It can't actually be 10, but essentially it's between 1 and 10. And then over here we have an exponent. And this is positive, the exponent is positive, for large numbers. And in this case we define large numbers as greater than 1. And it's negative for small numbers. And we define small numbers as less than 1. So those are basically the parts of the scientific notation. Note that scientific notation must follow these rules. The coefficient must be between 1 and 10, and it must be times 10, and it must have an exponent. That is absolutely required to have scientific notation. So now let's look at the number that we have. We have 0.0626267 here, and we want to convert it to scientific notation. In order to do that, we need to move the decimal. We need to first determine the coefficient. The coefficient in this case is going to be 6.267. Then we need times 10, and we need an exponent. We need to figure out how many times we need to move the decimal place to turn this number into this number. And it turns out that we need to move it 2 times. Now we need to determine should it be -2 or +2. Well, since this original number is smaller than 1, it should be -2. We now have this number written in scientific notation. In this case, we want to go in the opposite direction. I'm going to write the negative sign a little bit further away, and you'll see why in a minute. So we have 4.121 times 10 to the -2. Since this is a negative exponent, this number needs to be smaller than 1. Said another way, we need to move the decimal place 2 times in the left-hand direction to make the number smaller. We then put in the zeros that we need, and what we should end up with is -0.04121 to write this number as a decimal.